The build team have proven to be a fun, if flawed, batch of toys. From most to least favourite is Wedge, Heavyload, Hightower, and Grimlock. In a franchise filled to the brim with character homages left and right, it's great to have a group of figures with their own identity. Okay, they're combining construction vehicles, but that's like comparing the Autobot brothers to the Art Crew because they turn into cars. These guys are pretty much their own bots, and amongst the Gestalt teams, how they merge is somewhat unique in itself. The leader, Wedge, forms the torso, a pretty cool looking one at that, whilst the others turn into limbs. That's normal. Where it differs is that Grimlock, Heavyload, and Hightower connect via this tri-link system that allows you to build the frame of the combiner, sans Wedge, who, I guess you could say, is the literal key that brings them together. Landfill actually has 3 modes. In Japan, each is named after the bot who forms the arms. So with Grimlock / Build Hurricane, Build King, Landfill's Japanese name, is in Hurricane mode, Cyclone mode for Hightower, Typhoon mode for Heavyload. To change configuration, simply remove Wedge and transform the others accordingly, even if it is rather unwieldy. Hurricane mode is my favourite of the 3, if only because it's the most symmetrical and balanced, though I can't deny the other 2 have their strengths. Going back to the torso, I love how the treads and shovel halves splay across Landfill's shoulders, and really accentuate the design. Also, the head feels like a more mature or powered-up version of Wedge. Part of the reason for Hurricane mode's symmetry is, once again, Heavyload and Hightower are similar in construction. Both have wheels that flip down to form feet, or, if you so choose, heel spurs. Whether they're a leg or a set of arms, these 2 make for bulky, beefy limbs that befit most combiners. Claws are a bit of a stretch, but the weapons plug in pretty solidly at least. As hinted in a previous review, most of my issues center on Grimlock. As the arms, I'm sorry, but they look utterly wimpy in proportion to the rest of the Gestalt. And those Pac-Man claws don't help matters either. Though to be fair, they too hold the weapons just fine. As a leg? He's even worse. It's literally the excavator on its side with no discernible foot or heel spur to speak of, meaning Landfill isn't very stable, unless you split the treads at the base I suppose. To give him some credit, Grimlock's Scorpion Tail shtick complements the Hurricane and Cyclone modes quite nicely. Despite appearances, Landfill actually has articulation. In each mode, his arms are the individual bot's legs, and thus those same joints carry over. Just don't expect hyperposability from this powerhouse. I've heard some complain that Landfill falls apart way too easily, and I'll admit he's not the most solid combiner, but mine holds together okay. More so in Cyclone and Typhoon modes, as Wedge clips in place via 2 pegs and slots, as opposed to just 1 for Hurricane mode. Excluding Hightower's mini blaster, the previous weapons, including Wedge's double-barreled gun, can be wielded in one form or another. Overall, I think I admire this set more for what it tries to do than the final execution, though there are plenty of positives to be sure. Like the Tripreticus Council, I recommend the build team mostly for the bots themselves, even Grimlock, the most flawed of the group. The fact that they merge is simply icing on the Energon cake.